Welcome back to SQL learning session. Today we'll be talking about sorting and limiting rows from database for developers. Let's run the prerequisite SQL for our course. In this lesson, there are around 13 sections and we'll go through one by one of them. So let me start from the beginning. Unordered data. Queries without an order can return data in any sequence. When accessing a single table, this is often the order you insert a row in a table. For example, the rows in a table are out of sequence for all of this column. Now let me run this. This data is out of sequence with respect to any column. So this is the data we have given. Section 2, order by clause. To guarantee a row appears in a given sequence, you must use an order by. This sorts number from smallest to largest. So to sort a choice from cheapest to the most expensive, order by price. This way we order this table by price. We can also order this by using date, the purchase date. Can you imagine or can you guess how to order by purchase date? Let me show you. If I do this, then we are ordering by ascending purchase date. Purchase date. Let me just correct the spelling here. It's ascending order, and null comes at the last. Now let's sort this data by phoneme, which is an alphabet. So we'll sort using alphabetically. So starting with baby doll and ends with purple ninja. Section 3, reversing the order. You can invert the order by adding a descending keyword. Descend for descending. DSC keyword, descend for descending. Now let's write a query using a descending keyword. Here we get a table starting with the highest price. And it is a kangaroo. The price starts 29.99 and goes down from then onwards. Sometime when you have the two rows with the same value, then there can be issue of which one will come at the first, and that is totally non-deterministic. So to make sure that guarantee the particle sequence, we have to add more columns to order by. Now let's when we do this, we have two columns here, kangaroo and purple ninja. When we run this query, either one of them can come at the top. There is no telling. To resolve this issue, we need to add more columns to the order by. Price, phoneme. And this is a descending. Now, let's do an exercise where we have to complete a query. So it sorts the rows by weight, lightest to heaviest, and toning with the same weight purchased by date from the last bought date to the first. This is a partially filled query. Can you tell me how to write this query? Let me show you. Let's do order by weight, which is WEIGST weight, lightest to heaviest, that is ascending order, comma, we need to also order by purchase date from last bought to the first. That means in descending order. This is a case for exercise, and we correctly solve the exercise. Now moving to sorting null. By default, Oracle database sorts null last in data. Now let's run this query where you sort by last lost state, and what happens is that the null value for the last lost state comes at the last, because that's how Oracle database works. But you can change this. You can change this by putting a nulls clause at the end of the query where you put nulls first, and null will appear at the first if you do this. Now let's do an exercise where we're to complete the query to sort the rows by price from cheapest to most expensive, and toys with the same price by date last loss from newest to oldest date. If rows with null, if the rows some null values, then it should come at the top. Here's a blank query which we need to fill out. Here I need to sort the order by price from cheapest to most expensive. That is in ascending order. That is price ascending. Then toys with the same price by last lost date. From newest to oldest. That means in descending order. Nulls first. And that's how the result should be. Now, moving into custom sorting. We can also sort data using custom logic. Sometimes we may want to sort data that doesn't follow any standard sorting rules. For example, I may want to sort data by toy name, but as a favorite toy, I want to have Miss Snuggles all at the top. How do you do this? We can do this. How do you do this? Can you guess? Let me show you. We can do this by adding a case expression to the sort. Here, we have added a case expression to order by, where case is if toy name is Miss Snuggles, then it's a equal 1, and then else everything else is 2. Then we use this expression in a sort by and then toy name as a second clause in a order by, which will always make sure that toy name Miss Snuggles comes at our top. Sometime. Now, moving on to section 9, positional notation versus aliases. It can be tricky to debug custom sorting functions. To help with this, include expression in your select. So, we will include this case expression in a select as well. Now, if you run this, then we have our sorting function where we also display the sorting logic in the case. But this means having the same logic at two places, and this makes the maintenance harder in the future. To do this, we can use a positional notation. Like for example, I can use, instead of case by, I can use 6, which is this column in the select. Instead of case by, I can just use 6. And then I can use tonym, which is the first column. And then you select. And it should give me the same result. The problem with this is it makes harder to spot which column you are sorting by, particularly if you are querying using select star. If you need to change the columns you are selecting, it's easy to overlook position order by, leading to wrong result. There is a second way to do this, a better way, called aliases, where you alias or give a name to the sort function in a select, a custom sort by, and then use the same name in order to do the sorting. Now let's try an example. In this example, we will complete a query to put kangaroo at the top, blue dinosaur at the second, and put the remaining items or toys ordered by price, cheapest to most expensive. This is a blank query. Can take a few seconds to think how to do this. Let me show you how to do this. Yeah, we'll fill the den as 1 because we want always kangaroo at top, then 2. We want this always second, and third for everything else. This is a custom logic for custom sort, and it's going to be ordered by custom sort because that's how we want the order to look like. Secondly, we want the remaining toys by order by price, cheapest to most expensive. That means it's going to be priced in ascending order. Now, if you run this, it should give the result we want. Let's try this. And this is exactly what we wanted. Moving on to section 11, top inquiries. Top inquiries returns the first n rows in a sorted data set. For example, to find 3 cheapest toys, there are several ways to do this in Oracle database, but we'll focus on mainly ANSI way. Here, we'll use a top inquiry. We'll use a fetch first. Fetch first 3 rows only to get the first 3 rows from the top n rows from the database. This is the first 3 cheapest toys. Order by price descending order. First 3 cheapest toys. That is, it should be in ascending order. And these are first 3 cheapest toys. moving on to section 12, top in with ties. When doing top in query, sorting by non-unique values, you have an important question to answer. Do you exactly want n rows, all the rows for first n values, or n rows along with any value that has same value as f value? For example, both Mrs. Snuggles and Blue Dinosaur has a 9.99 price. So if you fetch first three most expensive toys, you can get either one of them. Now let's fetch first three most expensive toy, and you get I may get either one of them, Blue Dinosaur or Miss Snuggles. You can guarantee you get both by using a fetch first. And here we will swap only keyword for with ties, where we will remove the only keyword here, and we'll just use the with ties such that whenever we have a tie, then we'll display all the ties, where we have Blue Dinosaur and Miss Snuggles. In all these examples, you get at least three rows in your output, but it could be more. Usually you want to get exactly n rows. To do this and get the same rows every time, ensure there are no duplicate values in order by column. If you want to learn more about that, between ranks, dense rank, and row number, watch the video in the link. Now, moving on to section number 13, where we'll do an exercise. Here, we write a query to return first three toys ordered by toy name. Select here. This is a blank partially filled query with the blanks. Can you tell me how to write this query to get the result we want? Let me show you. Here, we need to get a toy name and we need to order by toy name. First, write, write a query for first three toys, order by toy name. This we want to order by, and we just want to fetch first three toys. Fetch first three rows only, and we don't care about rest. And we get baby turtle, blue dinosaur, and kangaroo. In the end, let me quickly summarize what we learned today. We learned about sorting and limiting rows. We talked about on row data. We talked about how to order data by order by clause. We talked about reversing the order from ascending to descending. And we talk about situation where we have ties, when we are limiting the rows, or when we are sorting the rows, when there are ties, how to resolve those in order by. We talk about sorting null value and how you can specify where null value is located. We also talked about using custom sorting, where we can use the custom sorting log as logic using case function to create a custom sorting logic. We also talk about position notations using 1, 2, and also aliases to name the functions. And we talked about top n queries and how we can resolve the ties when there are in the top n queries. So that's all for today. I will see you next learning session. Thank you so much.